Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Ora Zikara, and today I am talking to the spirit of the day and seeing what messages and what guidance the day have, what the day can teach us about the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, the earth, Eden, ourselves, the ascension, what growth they can assist us with and what they can bring for us. So I've got this little microphone because someone's playing music in this and the music needs to be playing right now, so I just didn't want it in the background of my video. So I'm first going to tune in and then we'll start to connect with and channel guidance messages from the spirit of the day. So I'm just going up to heaven, to the Akashic Records, a library, and I am walking out through the library and out the back to this garden. This garden outside the back of the library is where I'm going to meet the spirit of the day. Each animal kingdom, they have an oversoul, so this will be the oversoul for all day. The collective consciousness, the oversoul for the day kingdom. Wow. So walking out, the higher self or the oversoul of the day is like a brilliant white day, crystal white, just pure white with big antlers. Much bigger than what we would see on Earth. The higher evolved beings like the day's higher selves, the collective higher soul of the day, they exist on higher planes in the heavens, in Eden and things like that. And days are so gracious and beautiful. They've got such a soft, divine heavenly energy, even the ones on Earth. So the day is just bowing to me as I come over to it, and I bow to it as well. Around, there's like a circle of stones, and it's stood within the circle of stones. So we're going to go and stand in the circle of stones with the day, and it's going to portal and channel us to where it wants to show me, where it wants to take me, what it wants to share with us. And I've asked for permission to enter the stones, and the day said, "You may." Feels very loving, very lightful, like the day knew I was coming. They're showing me that they're connected to the moon, and their horns are like antennas, and I can see like them lit up with light, and it's like the light from the moon is streaming down into the horns as antennas, and it's almost like this is how they receive their guidance or intuition on where to go, what to do, where's safety, where the others are, almost like it's a connection between all of them so that they can stay connected, and they do it through the moon. Even when the moon is a new moon and you can't literally see it in the sky, they're still connected. It's like an etheric connection. So why is it that you are etherically connected to the moon? Why no the sun? something to do with the waters. The moon pulls the waters within them almost like magnetism, and so they can sense and feel which way they need to be drawn based on the pull that they receive from the moon. They can almost feel their internal waters being pulled towards where they need to go, and also the waters receiving information from the moon about anything they ask the moon, really, anything that they need, anything that will serve them, anything that will help them. They can receive the information, the downloads from the moon, because the moon is connected to the waters, and it portals the light, the information into the waters. The waters receive it. Waters hold memory, so the waters receive the messages, and then they can tap into these messages, these crystalline codes within the water, and they can receive the guidance from the moon. It seems to be only the male deers that have the antlers, though, so what about the female deers? Are they connected? Do they receive the guidance or messages? The females receive it through the heart port. It's almost like the males. It's almost like the males pick up it through the ether, through their antlers, and it comes through their antlers, like almost like through the crown down into the heart, and then it floods out the heart chakra and connects to all those around. So the females receive it through the heart from the males, as the males draw it in, and the females receive it in that way. They're just as sensitive and in tune as the males are, but they are receptive and trusting in the males to lead. And the females, they're very sensitive in their feet, where they'll feel kind of frequencies from the earth, shudders, messages and guidance from the earth that is received through the hooves of the females, and they receive it up from the ground up, whereas the males receive it from the heavens down. And they're all fully interconnected. They're all telepathic. They all speak to each other and commune with each other. They're very, very much, so much more connected with each other than humans are on Earth. What are some things that humans are doing wrong, or that humans can be doing more of, to tap into these channeled messages from the cosmos, from the earth, to get more sensitive like you are? We obviously don't have antlers or hooves, really, so what can humans be doing to connect more, to receive more, to connect more with each other and the cosmos, the heavens, the earth around us? We need to practice just kind of standing barefoot in nature, palms open, standing just softly, upright but softly, closing our eyes and just breathing deep, breathing in the light, the energy, the codes all around us, feeling the wind between our fingertips, and just getting really, really sensitive and practicing feeling these very small sensations of the energy of the wind, listening to the small sounds of, say, the birds or the wind, and just really starting to get tuned in much more to that which is around us, rather than being tuned into just our minds and our thoughts. We humans are much more plugged into this energetic false matrix grid that plugs our mind in as well. So our mind it's plugged into like this collective consciousness of, say, TikTok and social media, where the sounds, the thoughts that run through our mind are just kind of man-made technological dramas, sounds, frequencies, energies that aren't actually found in the natural world or even in Eden. The stuff that we play through our brains, the things we plug ourselves into when we watch social medias and watch TV, and we're connected to the energetic grid. It's not, a lot of it isn't natural anymore. A lot of it is unnatural. It's no the same as if you were sat in a forest in Eden than sat in your lounge watching TV and scrolling through TikToks. The sounds aren't the same, the frequencies aren't the same, the energies aren't the same. And so when one stands in the forest and tries to quiet their mind and tries to feel these energies and sensitivities, because their mind's still plugged into all of that, they can stand there and all they can hear is random sound effects, random thoughts, random TikTok sounds that they have listened to online. And they can't really truly tune in and plug in. The way that you disconnect your mind from all of that is by practice and discipline, which means that as much as you can and as often as you can, having breaks from socials, having breaks from the electronic grid, spending time in nature and sitting through all of that craziness, all of those sounds in your mind. Sit still in nature and wait until it stops. Keep doing it until for as long as it takes until it stops, and it will, because the energy itself will recalibrate you. The longer you're sat there, the longer you will start to recalibrate to Eden, to nature, and you'll disconnect and unplug from that matrix hive mind, and then your sensitivity and your attunement to Eden and nature will start to get so clear, because you are realigning to that frequency, to that energy, to that timeline, and to Eden on earth, on this plane. Eden already exists in nature. Nature vibrates to the frequency of Eden. Humans have created a false matrix grid on top of this Eden, on top of this nature, that's holding it like chains down into a lower vibration, into what people deem as a 3D world. And that 3D is a mental and emotional and etheric prison people have put themselves into because of stress, internal chemistry being out of balance, traumas, disconnection from God, disconnection from source, and disconnection from nature. Nature is humans' best medicine. Thank you for sharing that. What else? What else do you have to share for us? Can deer communicate with and see things like nature spirits and other multidimensional beings, other beings on different frequencies, like say unicorns, dragons, and things like that? Most of us can. Most of us are fully connected to that light, to the source, to God. We stay foraging on the lands because that is our true food. That's our true essence. We wish to stay connected to our true land. There's some deer, they'll get fed by human, they'll get fed foods that disconnect us from our true energy and source, food with wheat in, food like corn, things that are GMO or processed. It's no natural, it upsets our stomachs, and it clouds our vision, it distorts our field, and it makes us more disconnected. Often you'll see deer in the roads that have been ran over. We are usually very intelligent, we're very street smart, we know when to cross, we know when to stay away from the roads. Some of us get lost, they get disconnected, they eat the wrong thing, and it disconnects them from their true frequency, it lowers them in a way, and makes their mind confused and clouded, and makes them struggle to stay connected to the all, to the collective, and to their higher intelligence. Their higher intelligence always lights the way, and they're very in tune, very intelligent, dear. A lot of deer I notice, they'll be out in the day and they'll also be out in the evenings as well. Like, where do they sleep? When do they sleep? How do they see in the dark? Do they just have different? Do you have good night vision? Yes, first, I did ask about whether they can see mythical creatures, so yes. So yes, some of us can see the elves, the fairies, the tree spirits, dragons though, and unicorns. They exist on a higher frequency than what we are on right now. So we don't see them just yet, but we know they're there. We can sense them. We can sense them. We can feel their love. We can feel that they're watching from afar. If a human lives in an area where there are wild deer, what can we do to assist them in their lives? Because I always like to leave food out for my birds. Sometimes I'll leave fresh fruit and vegetables out for the deer, and I do notice apples disappearing after I've left them out and things like that. So, what kind of things can we do to assist our local deer in our areas? That's a beautiful question, and thank you for asking about this. The best thing you can do is love them from afar. Whenever you see them, send them love, connect to your heart, and really, really connect to that space and emanate that love outwards, because that good energy, that positive energy will uplift every single soul, regardless of the species, regardless of who you send it to. This is something humans should be doing to all, projecting the highest and best light on all. Another thing you can do is giving us fresh fruit and vegetables, but make sure it is proper food and not processed food. We don't want bread. We don't want pasta. We don't want the corn, the wheat that I was talking about earlier. Anything fresh fruit is perfect. Seeds, nuts. We're grateful for anything, although we don't need food. There's an abundance of all that is good all around us. We enjoy nibbling on carrots from time to time. This is why often people will leave carrots out for Father Christmas with the deers, the reindeers. This is true that we do enjoy carrots. And really just praying for the earth and praying for Eden and praying for human to find their way. We love human. We love humans. We want what's best for them because we want what's best for the world, for the earth. We want them to see the Eden that we do. We want them to feel the Eden that we do. We want them to love and live the Eden that we do. We have high hopes and faith in humans, and we look forward to seeing more and more of you waking up every single day. In the Santa story, it says that reindeers can fly. People say that it's an allegory, and it's to do with this magic mushroom at Christmas time, and people would get the reindeers to eat this mushroom. It's called the fly agaric mushroom, the Amanita muscaria, and people said that the reindeers would eat this, and then the shamans would drink the reindeer's urine because it would filter out a certain toxin that was in the mushrooms, and then they would get these high benefits through drinking the reindeer urine, and then they would be high on this mushroom and they would see the reindeers flying because they was just high on these drugs. Something that I know, and I know you know as well, is that These particular mushrooms, these Christ mushrooms, they are revered around Christmas time because they turn you into a Christ. They ascend your Kundalini, they awaken your 12 strands of dormant DNA. They have Christ energy within them. They have a Christ seed within them. Not everything does. These are very magic, special mushrooms. If you drank them through reindeer's urine, it wouldn't have that same effect because you have to be vegan. You can't consume anything that's got animal products in. It ruins and destroys it. So that story's been done to ruin the truth of actually what you're meant to do, which is have a clean temple, no animal products, build your internal light, eat alkaline, no alcohol. Then you take these mushrooms yourself. You can brew them in water that gets rid of this muscanol toxin without needing to filter them through reindeers. You eat them and then you can have godlike experiences with them. So these mushrooms are revered and they are on all like Christmas wrapping papers and things like that. So with the whole reindeers flying, what is that about? Is there any truth to that in the past? Could deer fly? Why in the Santa Claus story is it that the reindeers fly and they lead and guide the way for Santa to deliver the gifts? The deer saying, we're vegan too, you know, and I said, yeah, and then it keeps you pure, yes. That's why we're so high vibration, is what they're saying. So they're saying as we would love to be able to fly, but it is more of a metaphor. It's more of a metaphor for how high their energy and their soul flies, because they are quite ascended as animals on this earth kingdom, and so the flying is really just how high their soul can fly, their spirit can fly, in the sense that it is high, it ascended energetically, yet they're still on the earth. So they haven't gone so high, like they're holding this high frequency and staying grounded to the earth so they can anchor it more into the earth rather than ascending out of this place and leaving us behind. They have collectively agreed to be so high and to hold that space and that grid on earth to serve human, to serve the earth, to help bring Eden. It's their goal too, it's their mission too. They want to bring Eden back to the earth as well. They love Eden, they love the earth, our divine mother, they love her so much. They want to do that for her out of love, out of service. So what they're saying is they fly high, but they're still in physical form, and this is them delivering gifts to those that are good, in the sense that, or just delivering gifts to humans in the sense that them holding that space is a gift in itself to human, and they can hold that high energy, and humans now have the space and room to ascend up to that next level, thanks to them holding that frequency and holding that light. And usually with the Santa story, it's like the good ones get the gifts. Well, when you are good, that is because you are trying to be good, which means you're trying to be your highest and best self. You're trying to do better. You're trying to live your life well. You're trying to be a good person. I say trying. You're either doing it or you're not. No. So when I say trying, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm trying but failing. I'm saying, no, you're putting in the effort. So those who have done good is those who have put in that effort to live their lives in a conscious way, in a loving way, in a lightful way, in a caring, a kind and compassionate way. Those who live their lives and consider others, those who are more service to others and to the greater all and to the earth and to themselves. And those who are like that, they do get those gifts, because naturally, when they start to look towards that divine Eden state for earth, they where energy goes, where attention goes, energy flows. So it's like their attention is on that Eden plane, and their spirit and their energy naturally flows upwards and ascends upwards towards that place. It's almost like Eden is the goal for Earth. And when we choose to align with Eden as the goal, our energy starts to float in that direction, and we start to ascend quicker in that direction. And the deer is saying that they're already on that path. They're almost they are in Eden almost, but they haven't ascended fully out of the earth where they're there and left us behind. They've kind of got one foot on the earth and one foot in Eden, one foot in the spirit and one foot in the physical, to be that bridge and help us bridge that gap towards Eden ourselves. So they're really in serve to the good, to the light, to earth, and to humans. And I want to say thank you so much for your presence and for your blessings and for your light, because every time I see a deer out in nature, I feel your light so much. I feel your strength. I feel your grace. It's so divine. So I appreciate you being that here for us. And I will continue to do what I can to help bring Eden and to help restore the earth to her natural grid on this plane. I want to also say from me, Ora, is that the technological grid isn't necessarily a bad thing. It can still exist and it can still serve humans, but it needs to be less clouded with crap and clutter and more precise and holy and divine. And it is an energy form, it's an energy stream. Right now we fill it with crap, with junk, with what we post videos that are, people call it brain rot. And so you don't want to be feeding and creating the technological grid to be brain rot. We can use the technological grid as a support for the natural grid and make it a much more natural, clean and pure energy of light and love, and to still have the technological grid to serve human, but one that's so easy for us to just step in and step out of, and we aren't getting our brain plugged in and stuck and clogged up with a load of junk at the same time. So a last thing I wanted to ask, and I do this anyway, but you might agree or you might like to hear this, is that whenever I see a deer that's ran over, or any animals that have been ran over in the world, what I'll do is I'll always say a prayer and I'll say, God, make sure that deer, that animal's gone straight up to heaven, make sure it gets to stay in heaven and doesn't have to come back in the cycle of reincarnation, make sure it goes up to the highest heaven and lives a better life next time round. Do you feel those prayers? Do you enjoy those prayers? Do you feel like it's a good thing for humans to be doing is those prayers? They're saying that death for them is, it's almost a blessing in the sense that they get to go straight to Eden. They get to go straight to heaven. However, they do appreciate the prayers. They do appreciate that compassion and love, because what it means for them is that humanity are opening their hearts. Humanity are seeing the deer's light. They are seeing this compassion and the love in the deer and the animals that have passed on, and that it's showing more that humans have unlocked something within themselves that is more than what they have been in the past. And that for them is enough, because really it is humans that have descended this place to where it is. And it's humans that are the key to unlocking and unblocking it all, to dissolving all the illusions and allowing Earth's natural Eden grid to be restored and to flow through once more. Wow, it's been so lovely to talk to you. I really appreciate you. Thank you for everything. It's an honour, it's a blessing. I'm just bowing to this deer now in this circle, giving it a hug round its neck, stroking its neck. It's really soft. And I put my head against its forehead like that and just put my hands around its head and just said thank you for everything. And bowing down now and leaving and stepping out of the stone circle and waving to the deer as I walk back through the garden and go back towards the Akashic Records library. Inside the library, I'm just going to say, God bless that deer spirit, bless all the deers in the kingdom, in the land, bless all the deers on earth, give them all the light. All those deers that have got lost their way or got confused or got disconnected because of humans or because of eating the wrong food, give them a cleanse and clear now. Realign chakras, realign them and reconnect them back to source, get rid of all black magic and negative in and around and near them, and instantly pull all the negative out of them. Archangel Raphael, Archangel Ariel, do an instant healing on all the deer that need it, give them the clarity, connect them back into their collective and into source and their higher self so that they can make the right decisions, be aware of the dangers around them, stay away from hunters, etc. Make sure the roy is aware of when hunters are, so all hunters fail, they can no catch deer ever again. Keep all the deer safe and blissed and give them all thanks for all that they do and all that they are. Sending love to the deer. And I can see the spells from the main deer. It's like it's filtering from that main deer down into all of them now, almost like in the brain. There's meant to be like this one master cell. If you do work on the master cell, it affects every single other cell in the vessel. And so that is the same. What I'm seeing with this deer is that light's gone into the one and it's basically trickled down like roots of a tree into every other deer around in the land, basically. And now choose to leave the Akashic records. Coming down now into my vessel, grounding into this present moment. So thanks for watching. I'm Ora Zikara. Follow the channel if you enjoyed this video and hit subscribe, hit like, leave a comment if you had any interesting insights yourself during this. And I'll see you on the next one. Ta-ra!